What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name is AJ Gels. How y'all doing? We are going to be taking a look at Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales in this video. About 37 minutes of gameplay got dropped. I think there's developer commentary over this. This is, the Gwent, the standalone Gwent game that CD Projekt Red developed after The Witcher 3's Gwent mode was so popular. But Thronebreaker, from what I can tell, is actually a separate entity from Gwent the Witcher card game. So my head hurts, in all honesty. But I've seen bits and pieces of this. Like, this actually looks a lot more in-depth than an actual trading card, like kind of like a TCG sort of story mode game. Like, this actually looks like an RPG from everything I've seen, everything I've read about it. So we're going to be taking a look at this. I mean, I've kind of slept on this for a while, and I'm interested to really take an in-depth look at it. This is kind of in place of last week's news show. There just wasn't a whole hell of a lot to talk about last week, mixed with I was really busy. I wanted to do this yesterday. I had just a massive headache and just wasn't feeling up to it. So, with all that, all my excuses and whatnot out of the way, let's hop into it. Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. The Witcher world is back.
Your Majesty, graces, Nilfgaard's crossed the Yaruga. Black-clad hordes, villages burn, folk lie murdered.
Welcome to the official gameplay walkthrough for Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales, a brand new RPG adventure set in the dark and brutal universe of The Witcher. My name is Pavel Burza, I'm the community manager at Thronebreaker Red, as well as your humble guide in today's video. The story of Thronebreaker is set before the events of the first Witcher game, during the second Nilfgaardian invasion, and follows the story of Meve, a war veteran queen of Lyria and Rivia. The gameplay you're about to see takes place near the beginning of the game. After returning home, Queen Meve finds that not all has been well during her absence, and a Nilfgaardian invasion on her kingdom is all but imminent.
Okay, if I remember my Witcher lore correctly, Meve was the one who granted, who actually knighted Geralt. She made Geralt Sir Geralt of Rivia. If I remember my Witcher lore correctly. Sorry, my cat's trying to hang out behind my monitor and bite my hand on my mouse. Makes things a little difficult to concentrate. No, like I was saying, from what I remember, she was the queen who knighted Geralt. Again, this is going into the books, and I could be incorrect on this. But just right here, I'm digging this art style, this kind of, I don't want to call it this kind of comic booky style, but this, from what I've seen of, oh, come on, what game? Banner Saga. That's what it reminds me of.
Reynard, I've seen Nilfgaard's trebuchets at work. Should we delay until we're stronger, they'll leave no stone standing in Dravograd. We must ride for the town at once.
Without further ado, let's dive into the tale, shall we?
As her men prepared to march, Meve
In the interest of time, and to avoid some nasty spoilers, we'll skip right to the moment when the Queen and her retinue arrive at the castle of Dravograd. However, do know that Lyria is by no means a small kingdom, and there will be much along the way that will ask for your attention and sometimes require it.
Another mill was in flames. Tears welled in her eyes, yet they were tears of anger.
See, I stand by my previous statement. So I'll pause so you're not hearing me talk over the dialogue. I stand by my statement. This gives me such a Banner Saga vibe. I mean, granted, I don't have the largest working knowledge of the Banner Saga. I still haven't gotten around to it. Kind of want to. I'm waiting for it to all come out on Switch because I want to play it all on one platform. Sorry, tangent. But again, just from what I've seen of the Banner Saga, this reminds me so much of it. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be your kind of that grid-based kind of strategy game. This is going to be more of a TCG. But still, I dig games with this art style. I mean, it's got its own kind of flair to it.
It's war I shall bring you. Reynard, prepare to ride.
Look at the palisades. The machines of war. Too many to count.
I cannot fathom it. Has Nilfgaard sent all its forces into Lyria?
No, your grace. But a single army,
gods protect us.
The queen uttered a juicy curse. Dravagrad stood before them, Nilfgaardians all round it, 3, perhaps 4 battalions of armored infantry, arbalists and cavalry behind them. Trebuchet volleys had punched holes in the walls, while battering rams had twisted the main gate open. But elsewise, the city was mere moments from falling to the foe.
Doomed! We stand not a chance. Nilfgaard outnumbers us twofold. More!
Then our men must put double the spirit into the fight. Double the
Yeah, that's gonna help you.
Lyria!
Emboldened by
What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? You're gonna put the heart in the cards or whatever? I don't know, it's been too long since I've seen that show.
To a hail of bolts and arrows.
Alright, we're heading into battle. In Thronebreaker's story-driven battles, your army, as well as that of your opponents, is represented by cards, with commanders overlooking the battlefield. We can replace a certain number of units to take into combat with us before each battle. Let's do that now.
Okay, so it's already the Gwent formula's changed a little bit. Because I remember playing the...
Battles, your army, as well as that of your opponents,
zoom forward a little bit.
by cards.
I mean, obviously the interface is a little different, and from what I played of the Gwent the Witcher card game during the beta, the game is a tad different from Gwent. I don't want to say Gwent proper, but Gwent in The Witcher 3. It's a little different. I think the big reason they did that was to make the other factions more useful, because really the Scoia'tael and the monster decks were cool, but all in all, they were nowhere near as, in my opinion, they were nowhere near as powerful as the Nilfgaard of the Northern Realms deck. So I think that's, you know, they changed the format. I mean, for one, you know, you get 6 redraws as opposed to the game, you know, the normal version of the game, which only, I believe, give you 2. So, I mean, already we're seeing a little bit of the difference. I mean, I like the art style on the cards, though. I mean, I think that was something that we saw that was really cool in Gwent on The Witcher 3, was the fact that just the art style of the cards was really fun. It was just really nice to look at. Like, excuse me. I'm really glad that I personally, like, when I got the 2 expansion packs, I bought the physical ones that came with the Gwent decks. So I actually have the physical Gwent cards. Like, they look sweet.
With commanders overlooking the battlefield. We can replace a certain number of units to take into combat with us before each battle. Let's do that now.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the command.
The battlefield is divided into 2 sides, with each side consisting of 2 rows, melee and ranged. You can send...
Okay, and again, so again, unless they completely change this in Gwent in the Witcher card game, like the actual multiplayer TCG, this is also a wholesale change, because again, we're used to the 3 rows being the melee, ranged, and siege, because siege was also included from what I remember playing the demo or the beta of Gwent the Witcher card game.
Send any unit onto any row, but keep in mind, placing some units on specific rows will grant them special bonuses, as well as the ability to
really?
attack units otherwise unreachable. Battles are divided into rounds, and rounds into turns. In order to win, you will be required to either outright defeat your opponent, overpower the enemy's forces by gaining more points, or meet other special requirements.
I'm coming.
Many units come equipped with powerful abilities. Some, like the War Wagon, will summon additional units onto the battlefield. Others may
Okay, I mean, he's zooming through this, and you know, they're not breaking down like slowly like what each card is doing here. But he did say one thing that was really interesting to me, like with this unit, like these archers, like it kind of to me looked like that was a more of a ranged unit. But what he said was you can put units on any part of the battlefield. Like that's. I'm curious to see what that's going to do. I mean, obviously, I'm pausing, and he's probably going to answer that in like 2 sentences. But that's in and of itself an interesting move, because again, another just a wholesale change from the Witcher that we all know. Because again, the Witcher that we all know has specific rows and specific cards go on specific rows.
rain down arrows on enemy forces, for example, or cover the battlefield in devastating magic. Your most powerful weapon, however, will always be skill, strategy, and wits, which will allow you to overcome even the most unfavorable of odds.
Can't take it anymore.
Again, seeing that unit go into the back row is interesting. Like I obviously
number of units you can place on each.
Obviously, we're getting more of a what's the word I'm looking for here? We're not getting a super detailed look. So I mean, we obviously don't know exactly what each card does. I mean, we kind of saw what the like the war card did. Like it brought in other units. Like we are seeing what some of these cards are. Like machine, blitz, field support. But exactly what all this stuff means is, I think they took out a bit of a level of strategy by getting rid of the third row. But at the same time, I think they might have actually made the strategy deeper. Because I will say one thing about Gwent in The Witcher 3. While I absolutely loved Gwent, the strategy really after you really understood how to play it, you could almost game it, and you could pretty much go unbeaten. I mean, it was. I'm trying to think the best way to put it. I mean, once you found a winning strategy, it was super easy. You just had to constantly use that strategy. You really didn't have to deviate that much. But with this game, it looks like there's strategies a lot deeper. That it's not just going to be a one strategy. Obviously, you're going to have your go-tos. I mean, that's how a player builds a deck and all that. You always have your strategies. But this is more of a TCG in the traditional sense, in that you have to not only have your main strategy, but you also have to adapt and overcome as you play.
Something to keep in mind when sending your forces into battle. Using the Wagenberg's ability, we were able to attack the enemy's range row and deal a powerful blow to the enemy, but sacrificing the unit's defenses in return.
Okay, so looks like you still have to play one more card. I mean, it looks like the traditional idea of the game is still there, as in, it's the combination of power in the two rows makes up for your total amount of points, and you're trying to overcome the other row without running out of cards in your hand, I'd assume, unless they've added being able to draw cards. But so I mean, the base concept of the game is it looks the same, but again, with one getting rid of that row, the siege row, and two bringing in the fact that all these cards have their own abilities. I mean, you're seeing them actually attack other cards and getting rid of other cards on the field. There's more. It's more than just a straight up numbers game. There's again just an extra strategic element that was added and kind of layered on there.
The enemy has decided not to send more troops against us for now. Let's play another unit to gain the advantage.
Yeah, you keep your medic. You keep your medic. Words are hard.
Time to pass. All right, it seems we've managed to fend off the enemy forces, but the battle is far from won. Between rounds, you'll draw additional cards, which again, you'll be able to exchange if you wish.
Okay, so that is new. So it isn't like
Reinforcements for the foe.
So it isn't like the base
Begin,
game.
but not for long. Reinforcements are on their way. Let's prepare to summon some of our own.
So like I said, so it's not like the game in
order ability allows us to.
Sorry, I'm making little comments here and there, but I don't want to talk over the developer. So like I said, so again, it's different than the base game. So we do get draws in between rounds. So it's not in the same turns. Like it's not a turn you draw, but you get extra cards in between rounds. So it's kind of like the Northern Realms ability, where you draw one if you win the round. I mean, not exactly like that, because you always get to draw, but again, I'm trying to draw comparisons.
Call blitz units into battle directly from our deck, greatly improving our odds of winning.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
I'm a more say.
Okay, so I'm curious what the blitz unit is. If that's like you play it and it can immediately deal damage. Well, okay, so okay.
Command.
So before he tells us what like Meave and the commanders can do. So what we're seeing here down at the bottom of the cards is charge. I'm going to assume that's because it was like a little like couple Z's. So I'm going to guess that means that ability you can't use on the first turn, but as soon as that goes away move into the next turn, that it's out on the field, that then you can use its ability. So in this it has one charge. And seeing that it didn't pick up another charge in this turn, I'm going to assume that that's a one-time use ability, that now that I have 2 of these drummers on the field, I can't just keep bringing in units. No, I only get 1 per card.
Commanders also come with their own sets of abilities, and we've just used Meaves to deal damage to the enemy. Should you choose to use her ability on friendly units, this would boost their strength and defenses. As you continue your journey, you'll discover new weapons Meave can equip. Each one grants her a different ability.
Can't you play a card? I mean, didn't you play that Arbalist using the Blitz ability? Yeah, I was about to say.
One bullet's all I need.
Oh, wasn't great? He healed.
Elherter.
Give 1 charge to. Oh, okay, cool. Play a copy each unit. Okay.
Time I taught you some respect.
Sorry, I want to just go back for 2 seconds. I want to read what that card's ability was. Play a copy of each unit adjacent to self from your deck. Oh, that's a neat ability. So again, it's not just front to back positioning that's important. It's also your positioning left, right of other cards. I like that. It's a neat way to. Again, I'm really liking the changes that they made to Gwent. I mean, even more than the changes they made between Gwent and The Witcher 3 and the multiplayer game. I'm really liking this game specifically.
Time I taught you some respect.
And then we saw, this one has an ability. You play it, and he'll give a charge to another card, so they can use an ability.
Reynard's ability allows units with order abilities already on the board to use them again. It's a very powerful skill which can turn the tide of battle, especially if you use it at the right time.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
The battle is looking good. We've got the advantage, but we shouldn't let our guard down. The Empire of Nilfgaard is a powerful adversary and should be feared always, especially since the enemy still has many units at their disposal.
Off to the front yet again.
What do you want of me?
Can't take it anymore.
Quiet, or the Commissar will hear.
Wait a minute, didn't that guy have an ability?
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Scheiß! In! Zwei!
Give me a target.
This is it, time to see if we manage to build up enough strength to overpower the enemy.
Off to the front yet again.
Well, man, I hope you did build up enough, mostly because you have no cards left in your hand, and you're only going to get 3 if they win the round, which I have a feeling is going to happen.
Elherter. Yes.
They retreat.
Oh, okay, cool.
City's ours.
Nilfgaard is retreating and we've managed to take back Drevograd. Let's see how this impacts the story.
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields, and arms, even their wounded. The defenders rejoiced. They laughed boisterously, and cries of delight and chanting could be heard all around. "Warrior Queen," they shouted. "Meve, Meve, Meve!"
Hear that, your grace.
I do. No sound rings more lovely to a ruler's ear. Yet rest on our laurels we cannot. Caldwell, the situation in the town, what can you tell me?
Wall breached. Thrice. 400 wounded, near 1,000 without roofs over their heads. All nothing compared to the grain stores. Went up in smoke during the siege. And it's some time yet afore the harvest. Your Grace, the war's just begun, I know. All coins should bolster the army, yet if we leave the folk of Dravograd no gold, there will be hunger. With all the attendant
Throughout the story, you'll be tasked with making many difficult choices. These will not only determine the kind of ruler Meve becomes, but also the fates of her people and closest ones.
The drought of 1258 I remember all too well. I saw famine, what it drives folk to do, the extremes. A strong army I need desperately, yet not at all costs. The townsfolk need gold to survive till the harvest. Count how much, then give it to the garrison commander.
As you command, Your Grace?
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
Some immediate, some far-reaching, eventually a time will
Meve's two
come when you have to
adjutants
deal
found
with
and
the
left the queen
consequences
to
of the decisions you make.
She was hungry, sore from the fight, spent. Yet sensing her soldiers' eyes upon her, she set off for the stable, her gait brisk, her head held high.
The world of Thronebreaker is a living and breathing one, and will react to your actions, as well as your presence.
Golden air reaps blackclads like grain. Mave, Mave, Mave!
Milady, a strange boat floated past. I thought it imperial, but it flew not black sails, but redens. Deep red, like blood.
It seems we've stumbled upon a side quest. Let's go and investigate.
So there are okay.
Horns sounded. Meve recognized them at once as those of the Lyrian vanguard. She drew her sword and prepared to face the invader. Yet coming down upon her force were not Nilfgaardians, but bearded warriors clad in leather, horned helmets on their heads. This was not so. The queen could not believe her eyes.
Oh my god. Yeah, skeletons. Jesus.
But this was no time to be bewildered. Meve spurred her horse. It neighed and reared, and then the twain leapt into the fray.
I was about to say, I'm sitting here going,
Looks like we're being attacked by
red
skeletons.
sails,
Viking-like warriors who cherish combat above all.
you know, I was hearing, oh wow, so
At
it's,
Dravograd, this battle is shortened and will only last one round. Otherwise, the rules remain the same. Either overpower the enemy's forces or defeat their commander, Lippy Goodman.
that's cool. Oh geez, he's got 150.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea Raiders here!
But yeah, what I was saying,
The most powerful unit on the battlefield at the end of every turn.
what I was saying was, when I heard him say, red sails, I'm like, is it the skeletons or? God knows, right?
Time this happens, Lippy will lose strength equal to the strength of the unit he dueled.
Let us put our steel to the test.
The enemy is strong and we've got a limited number of cards available to us. Let's use the field medic to bring back one of the fallen units onto
Tell
the
me
battlefield.
just.
For Rivia!
Fortunately for us, at the heat of battle, Lippy might sometimes attack his own men. Skelligers can be strange and scary people sometimes, but you can't say they haven't got guts.
All right, that's an interesting ability. So like you said, he has to fight the strongest unit. That's interesting.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
Huh.
The spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
The Lyrian Sightman's unwavering loyalty in combination with the unit's passive ability increases its strength every time Meve uses her ability, just like now.
But you're going to lose the unit as soon as you end the turn.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
13. God. You gotta hand to him. I mean, that's an interesting idea for a unit.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Aye.
So basically, this is a game of this is a war of attrition. You're trying to wear down the enemy commander. So as opposed to just trying to gain the 120 points and keep them from doing it.
Up the ability of both of our regiment drummers, but we could really use more of it in this battle. Let's use Reynard to reactivate it and then call for support.
What was I saying? What she's doing? Where instead of trying to keep putting out forces to overpower them, you're going to literally just get into this beatdown against Lippy. That's an interesting unit.
Allows it to switch rows at our command. For example, to free up some space and fit more units in a particular row, or trigger another unit's ability.
Lugos will be bursting with pride!
Ballista, your command.
Lippy's starting to lose steam, but we're almost out of cards. It's going to be close.
You've got stones, wench! Now take that treasure. Till you gull it off with it!
Armor won't save him.
Now he'll attack you on one of the 13s.
Olga Blackhand's taking on new swabbies. What do you say?
Well, that's neat. So he'll attack the 23, almost knock his health out. Oh, does it kill him completely?
Can't let you through elseways.
Okay, so there's multiple ways to win these battles. It's not just
fought hard, fought bravely, brought mayhem. Yet the
again, it's what I keep saying with the layers of strategy within this game, as opposed to just simply playing strong cards and overpowering. It's also this idea of trying to maybe beat down the opposing general, or there's so many different ways to win and lose. I like the concept.
The Queen's ordered, disciplined force won the day. The islanders seemed entirely undismayed at their defeat. A trait of theirs, I must admit, I've ever admired.
Well, you're right scrappy for landlubbers. Lippy Goodman applauds you for your pluck, Queen. When we sup, me and the lads will drink
Despite the circumstances of our meeting, Lippy could greatly aid our fight against Nilfgaard. Let's see if we can get him to help our cause.
That we shall yet see, sir. We must know something first. What brings you this far inland? What drove you from the sea?
Meve asked, crossing her arms.
Ha! What always drives us? Looting and pillaging. The coast's picked clean since long, so we set our longships up the Yaruga for gold and glory!
Amusing. I always assumed you to be honourable folk.
And who dares to claim elsewise?
Your very actions do so. You've attacked a land preoccupied, a land already at war with invaders, but I suppose it makes sense. You've ever feared to attack Imperials?
The Queen prodded gently.
Oh.
Goodmund had quickly turned red with rage.
I prove.
I you gotta hand it to him in the writing. When I was reading the options, you know, turning on, you know, having them turn on the turning the Skelligans onto the Imperials. The way I was reading that, she was going to strike some sort of deal. I like how they have her kind of thumb her nose at them, kind of goad them into it. I like that. It's just there's quality writing at CD Projekt. I really, again, it's why I always say this studio to me can do no wrong. I mean, they constantly release game after game after game that have just been amazing. I mean, hell, their 3 main games, The Witcher, I would argue, you know, I would argue have defined a genre. So I mean, I really like what they're doing here, and again, it's just CD Projekt. Whether you like TCGs or not, I still have no doubt this is going to be a good game. And I gotta say, I mean, we're only about 20 minutes in, so we still got about another 20 left. But I'm already sold on this. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm in.
Just how wrong you are, I will! Why? We'll be drinking mead from Nilfgaardian helmets for sundown! Follow me, lads!
Meve smiled as she watched the islanders gather their gear and prepare to march. She doubted not in the least that Goodmund would honor his pledge.
We've managed to get the Skellige party on our side. The battle has also left us with some loot, gold, and raw materials, which we can use to upgrade and customize our army and war camp. Time is of the essence if we are to stop the Nilfgaardian invasion. Let's move.
On their way to the capital, Meve and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
As you traverse the world of Thronebreaker, you'll come across many interesting characters, friend and foe alike.
Denel, I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman.
We could end our conversation with Ake and continue exploring, but he seems intriguing.
How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slithering horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head,
Dude really likes his big words, doesn't he?
its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore, or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folks' fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt, but from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
Perhaps there's an opportunity here to gain a new ally. Let's see if we can help each other out.
We shall help you find and fight the Manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady.
Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Really? Do you have to be that poetic? Can't you just say the Nilfgaardians?
Vesture is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell? In a moon, let us say.
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The Manticore, Your Grace, must fall first. As to what happens later, I shall need to consult the good book and petition the gods.
So what, is he talking about his version of the Bible?
This monster, where lies its lair? Where does it prowl?
To the north, my queen. A few leagues on.
Let's head north and find the Manticore's lair Sir Ake spoke of.
Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind.
Before we continue, there's a notice board here we can interact with. Notice boards add new markers to the world map, revealing a variety of points of interest.
Jesus Christ!
Side quests, challenges, treasures, resource locations. Some we've already discovered, and many more will appear as we continue exploring.
So this is legit. This is what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'll let you guys into my brain. This is not the map of a TCG game. This is there's so much more RPG in here. I mean, this looks kind of like a simplified version of what we look at in The Witcher. I mean, obviously, you know, same game franchise, but still, it's a simplified. I don't want to say dumbed down version, but it is a version of it that works for this game. I mean, you know, we're seeing the multiple different areas. I'm gonna guess that's a battle, that's resources, a fast travel. Wow. I mean, I've heard the game was big and open. I was not expecting this.
Illyria is just the first of 5 kingdoms you'll make your way through in Thronebreaker.
Jesus.
Alright, let's get back to the task at hand and head towards the Manticore's lair.
'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near. I sense it.
At the furthest depth of the winding, gloomy canyon, scouts found the maw of a great cavern. Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Ake dismounted and drew his blade.
By the god's grace, we've found the beast's lair,
he said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth.
Meve cast a critical eye at her shield, wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the Queen and said,
Your Grace, none will utter a disparaging word should you step back.
But they will think them,
replied Meve.
And that's bad enough. The war has begun. I can't appear weak to my fighting men.
Without awaiting an answer, Meve strode into the cave. The rest of the company followed, equally full of fear and faith in their queen and commander. Moments later, a great and powerful roar filled the cavern.
Okay, so another shortened battle.
We'll need to defeat the Manticore within a single round. This time, however, we're facing a powerful monster. The only way to win is to kill it. This setup looks good. Let's begin.
Oh, so this is one that... Okay. So in this one, you have to... So in this one, you actually...
Out of 6 cards, each with its own strength and ability. To kill the beast, we'll need to destroy its head, and do it fast. The Manticore's claws are sharp and its tail is laced with deadly poison. Each of the monster's attacks will be devastating in consequences.
I'm cool.
So again, just another... God damn it, all this dialogue. Another way that another way that the strategy is just a little different, where it's
not strong enough to damage the Manticore's head, but did end up wounding the beast's wings. We'll have to find another way to attack the monster's weak point directly.
Where it's not just about, again, overpowering them. You actually have to play strategically and pick your shots on the individual parts of the monster.
This harvest.
I mean, I think what CD Projekt Red's done here is what they could have done is they could have taken a very simple.
You can try to win them all.
What's the word I'm looking for here? They could have taken a very simplistic approach. They could have just
receive damage. Sir Ake's resolve to defeat the Manticore grows, and with it, the knight's strength. This gives us a fighting chance, but only if we survive long enough.
What I'm trying to get at is I think they could have done very minimal changes to the gwent formula, but instead they've gone an entirely different direction with this. And almost, I don't want to say they've made a new game, but in a way they've done something completely unique here.
We suffered a massive blow. The beast has obliterated 5 of our units, but it also seems that the confrontations have cost the beast one of its wings, as well as damaged its weak point.
Oh, but these damn boots are killing me.
The Manticore is about to strike with its tail, which is able to kill a unit instantly. This will cost us.
Our ballista, your command.
Another attack is incoming. We could destroy the monster's wing, but we won't change the fact that our units will take damage.
Yeah, so why didn't you shoot the tail? Oh, well, I guess it only did 6 damage. It wasn't going to actually kill it, so... So I like how Sir Ake's card, he's actually... it's him riding the horse and the lance. Or same with Rodrid? Reynard, that's his name.
We must trust each other.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
I like the dynamic themes of like the special characters.
Let's send out a Lyrian Arbalest and have it attack the beast's head. This should put it in range of Sir Ake's attack. Time to finish this.
Prepare to fight, if you've any honor. We must thank the gods for this victory both great and just.
With Ake at their side, the Lyrians felled the Manticore. Later, it was said, the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision?
Just accept the compliment.
To serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked.
Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then
just
I
say
am content
yes.
to welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ake of Dunel.
The knight-errant bowed low.
The Manticore is
waist.
defeated, and we get to live another day, and Sir Ake decided to join us. That's a win, albeit a costly one.
Reeve could only
Let's head
hope
into
he would
our war
battle
camp and check out the
Nilfgaardians
state of our
as
army and see
boldly
how
as
we
he
can
faced
improve it for the
beasts.
battles to come. Most camp buildings can be upgraded in your workshop. Seeing how important it is to have your troops be at the top of their game, the training grounds sound like a good place to upgrade.
Oh, so you can actually make your cards stronger. Creation of new combat units. Interesting. Wait a minute, so if your combat units
And the
die,
command
are they
center can recruit
gone?
New and additional units, as well as manage your army's composition. Defeating the Manticore has earned us its trophy card, which sports quite a useful ability. Let's make some room and add it. Also, let's recruit another
Fuck's my
regiment
mouse.
drummer. It's been a really useful unit so far. Another one will definitely.
Sorry, what I was trying to get at, where it was talking about the creation of units. So it's making me now think that if a unit dies in combat, does that mean the unit is gone, or do you, and then you have to replenish them later, or is that just hey, you can now buy this card and add more to your army?
Definitely come in handy.
I'm gonna guess it's the second one, not the first one, just because it makes a little bit more sense.
Reynard and Ake should be in the mess tent. Let's go there now. The mess tent is where you can talk with your companions. Doing so will allow you to learn more about them and deepen your bonds, which is sure to have an effect on their performance in combat.
What about that guy over there who's side-eyeing
Settle
you?
in yet.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale? Not too warm, I hope.
'Tis not for me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk? A witless prank. I shall tell the quartermaster at once what I think of such...
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so? Well then.
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right.
So I take it he's just
I
no
suppose
fun.
There's something to it.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein, hesitate not to find me.
Certainly, I shall remember that. Your crusade against monsters. Have you been at it long?
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace. Though, there was one extended interruption.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once, a gold one, as it were, calling itself Villa Tretormeft, or the like. Its very name, as is evident, a vile toil for the tongue and wafting wickedness. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves, even, curse the word, a witcher. One Yennefer, most lecherous sorceress, at his side.
Yeah, I thought it was
Name I've
Geralt.
heard.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas, though shame burns me to admit it, I returned from the battle upon my shield, figuratively.
I understand. I know Yarpen, and I know I know of them, but I don't know their characters so much, so I don't know. But I believe Geralt didn't go on to kill the dragon. I'm trying to remember my Witcher lore here, but if I remember correctly, that's because the Witchers have a thing against killing sentient beasts. in a way, like these, because I'm trying to remember what it was called when he's talking about like this golden dragon or whatever. That's a grand dragon. There's not a lot of them in the world, and what they say, it was calling itself a name, so it was a sentient, self-aware creature. It's we saw similar things. I think it was called a Sylvian. Those weird, they kind of look like satyrs, but they're like really big and fat. We saw one in The Witcher 3. There was, I think the quest was called like False Idols or something. It was this dude who was hiding underneath like a small church, telling townspeople that, he's some sort of like weird under god or something. So give me food or whatever. But that's why, if I remember correctly, that's why Geralt didn't go hunt that dragon, because I remember that specific story. I don't remember exactly everything around it, and I don't remember Sir Ake, but I do definitely remember that story. Although I do have to give Ake credit, because like I said, I thought he was a bit of a buzzkill, that he didn't like booze, but I have to give him credit that he badmouthed Yennefer. That's a good sign in my book. Hashtag Team Triss.
Literally.
I will never get off that.
For 2 years, I lay in the Temple of Melitele in Alanda. Mother Neneke, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I could once more grip my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
And the dragon? What was its fate?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here, awaiting the opportune moment to terrorize the folk of the north.
This concludes our Thronebreaker The Witcher Tales gameplay walkthrough. We hope you'll enjoy playing the game when it's out on October 23rd on PC only on GOG.com and December 4th on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Thank you for watching.
All right, well, that was a look at Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. You know what? I'll probably play it on the 23rd. It's going to be on PC. I really like GOG. Yeah, I'm really impressed with what we saw with that. I wasn't expecting all of that to be in a. I wasn't expecting it to be so much like an RPG. I really think that it's like I said. I think they could have just as easily just kind of taken Gwent, the game itself, thrown it into this game, and kind of done. I don't want to say like a half-assed experience, because I don't think that's CD Projekt Red. But at the same time, I don't think they had to go into this much depth. And I think it says something about the studio, the fact that they made this. I think this looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait. I mean, what, the 23rd? That's next week, isn't it? Jesus Christ, it is next week. You know what else is next week? That's also Red Dead Redemption 2. God damn, this year is fucking nuts. All right, well, guys, like I said, that concludes our look at Thronebreaker. I'm excited. I'm sold. I like I said, I was kind of sleeping on this game up till this point, but I really like what we just saw here. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments. I mean, do you like it? Do you think are you excited for it? Like I said, you can check out a full Let's Play on that, and it's going to happen. As always, Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, all that stuff is in the description below. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more next time. But until then, my name's AJ Gels. This is the Game Channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm out.